When you're using this little Maxx Fmrb 330 mini round baler, it has a bale density setting that detects when your bale has reached the density that you have set it to. And when that happens, when it reaches that density, it triggers the arm to fall, the twine wrapping arm right here. Okay, when this falls, it starts the twine wrapping process. Okay, one thing that you need to be aware of: anything mechanical can and will fail. Okay, occasionally while you're baling hay and you think your bale is getting pretty close to the density that you've set it at, you need to be occasionally watching this little arm. When that bale starts filling, this arm will start coming up. Okay, when your bale gets to the yellow, you're getting really close to your bale being full when it gets to the bottom right there. When it starts getting on up into the yellow, your bale's probably ready. If it gets into the red, your bale is reaching the very maximum capacity of the bale chamber, and you probably need to stop and go ahead and start the twine wrap and start this baler baling the twine around the bale so you can go ahead and manually eject that bale. You don't want to overfill this chamber too full to the point that it damages something. So while you're rolling bales and you're out in the field, keep an eye on this rod. Occasionally glance back and see where you're at, and you'll know when you're fixing to need to stop by just watching it. It'll let you know. And when the bale arm falls and the alarm sounds, then you know it's time. But also keep an eye on this. This is a great safety feature to keep you from overfilling your bale chamber. Okay folks, thanks to Mr. Steve Carver at Carver Equipment for sending me a tip that another owner of this Maxx Fmrb 330 baler sent to him. As you can see, we have the right side protective cover, safety cover of the baler open. And one thing that this other gentleman sent to Steve that he had an issue with, and it's probably a good thing to share this with anybody that has this baler. When these things come from the factory, this arm right here, you can see it starts here and comes down to this bracket right here. This bracket is what locks your bale door shut, okay? And when the bale reaches the proper density, it's what actually senses through these other pulleys here in the bale density setting you have and triggers to open the door. It allows this bracket right here to raise so the bale door can open. Okay. Another gentleman had one of these balers new from the factory, and it would not sense when his bale was full. The bale chamber was full. And upon further inspection, this bolt right here, you can see this has a slot cut into it. This bolt was tight from the factory. It was tightened all the way down to where this rod would not move. Okay, this rod has to be able to move. It has to slide in this bracket right here. As you can see, it has to slide up and down in that bracket when the bale's getting full, so it will know to let you know that the bale's full and start the twine wrapping process. If this bolt is tightened down too tight on this bracket where it can't move, it's not going to sense that. So you need to make sure, as you can see, if I can get in there, mine is loose enough to where my washer in there will move back and forth just a little bit. That's enough. That's all you need for it to be able to operate properly. So just make sure if you buy one of these new balers, to make sure that bolt right there is tightened to the point that your washer underneath it will move just a little bit and no more. That's the way it needs to be for it to be able to sense that your bale is ready to twine wrap. Okay folks, one other thing about this little baler that you need to always keep an eye on. As you can see, we are actually in the twine wrapping port, and I'm going to try to get in here and point my finger right here. This little mechanism right here is what signals to sound your alarm. When the twine arm, wrapping arm falls, it falls across this right here, this little metal piece sticking out, and it pushes it in to make contact to sound the alarm. You need to always make sure that this little arm that will, it's kind of sticking out maybe at about a 25-degree angle or something like that. You need to always make sure that that little arm is sticking out at about a 25-degree angle so it can contact the twine wrap arm when the twine wrap arm falls to sound your alarm. If this was to get bent backwards and pushed in, then your alarm's not going to sound, and you will it'll be wrapping twine around your bale and you may not even know it, and you're going along in your tractor and the baler is still picking up hay and it's trying to wrap hay over the top of your baling twine, and all of a sudden you've got a nasty, ugly bale that you may have problems getting out. So, and again, that's one reason to always keep an eye occasionally on this density arm here. As you can see, this density arm goes down and is connected straight to the mechanisms that control your density settings. And right here is the density settings. You see you have 4 slots. You have the lightest, then a little heavier, then I would consider this in the medium to medium heavy, and then heavy. We have been baling with ours in the medium heavy, maybe you'd call it, density setting, and we really like it. It gives a nice bale of about 50 pounds. But this rod is connected to this mechanism, so you will know when your bale has reached the proper density. So keep an eye on this. It's very important. If something on your sensor was to fail on the alarm, you can still watch this and know when your bale is ready to twine wrap. So keep an eye on that occasionally while you're running this machine. It's a great safety feature that Redlands incorporated into the baler, and it's kind of a backup. If your sensor fails, then you can watch this density arm and you'll know when to stop and start the twine wrapping process, and not even really have to have an alarm. So it's a great backup. Just keep an eye on that. Okay folks, it's we're not going to be using our baler for the next month or so maybe, and I think it's very important to maintenance your equipment, take good care of your equipment. I think that if you buy a quality piece of equipment and you maintain it and you take care of it, it will last you a lifetime. And one thing we do every time that we're done with the baler, and I'm not talking about if we're done with it for the day and we're going to be using it again tomorrow and maybe 3 or 4 days down the road, we might not do this, but if we're done with it for the next month or 2, 3 months, whatever the case may be, over the winter, whatever it is, take time to stop and clean your baler. Clean out the bale chamber. You can start the tractor and the PTO and start the baler just at an idle, and raise the bale door and turn this lever on your hydraulic arm and lock the bale door open so you can clean out anything in there, and don't get up under it to where if the bale door fell it would crush you. Use common sense and use your head about doing these things, but stay back away from it. But you can take a broom, or here's my suggestion, and I do this almost every evening when I'm done baling. I might not open the door and clean the bale chamber and everything. One of the best things you can do with a baler, a leaf blower. Take you a leaf blower, keep one around the farm. Keep it out at the barn, wherever you park your equipment at the end of the day. Take you a leaf blower and blow everything out of this. To blow all the hay dust and all the hay particles, blow up in through the bale chamber, blow everything out, blow down in the twine wrap chamber. And not only that, but blow off your tractor, raise the hood, blow off the screen from the radiator. Just a few minutes of preventive maintenance will make your equipment last a long time.